Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Eris, for doing the Modly Mod stuff and being an awesome person. Hope you're getting to feeling better. Good morning, Christine and Jariah. Let's see here. I don't think I've seen you, but thank you so much for coming over to visit us this morning. It is Monday, and good morning, Reindeer and Jess Rubery and Greedy Bloke. Our first story, look, everyone who was involved in this directly to Double Snake Island. This is the grossest thing I have ever seen in my entire life, and I've covered Newsy News for, I think, almost 6 months, but this is grossness. A disturbing video showing teens sucking and licking each other's toes at school-sanctioned event as agency investigates. This is no, no. Everyone who did this, who decided to do this. Good morning, Erin Olivia. Snake Island, just all of them Snake Island. I cannot. This is so gross. I don't do feet, everything. So you guys can't hear it, but I oh god, no. That's no. Okay, we're stopping the video because look, y'all don't need to see me dry heave on live stream. This is look, no. An Oklahoma high school is under investigation after a viral video of students sucking and licking one another's toes at a school sanctioned fundraiser exploded this week. The disturbing footage shows at least four kids from Deer Creek High School lying on their stomachs in what appears to be the gymnasium floor, furiously lapping peanut butter off their peers' bare feet. Who in the hell, like, what prompted this? You know, I understand this is for a fundraiser, but sell trash bags. Trash bags are useful. Trash bags are easy, for me to co-sign on. If my 2 daughters' high school said, "This is how we're raising money," do you understand how fast I would pull them out of school? Do you understand how fast I do have to show you guys something, so let me unembiggen me. Doo-doo-doo. Alright, so I got the cutest skirt. It is little pelicans, or I think they're pelicans, from a mystery box thing, but I would have them in the, private school that the youngest 2 are in, like, 5 seconds. Y'all have no idea. This is no-go. I'm surprised parents aren't, like, running away. Quote, "He's devouring those," one student can be heard saying as others cheer in the background and the MC moderates the bizarre competition. You could have had a, whipped cream pie or a pudding pie competition. You could have had any and other things to do. There are a million things. Look, every 5 seconds, it feels like my kids are bringing something home like, "Hey, mom, if I sell 5 of these trinkets, I get another trinket." And I'm like, No, just no." The video racked up nearly 50 million views on social media in just 24 hours and led to a formal investigation by Oklahoma State Department of Education. Quote, "This is disgusting. We're cleaning up this filth in Oklahoma schools. Our agency is investigating," State Superintendent Ryan Walters said on X. Yes. The video was filmed Thursday at a Clash of Classes assembly, which is part of the high school's week-long fundraiser for a local coffee shop that employs people with special needs. Okay, but how does that how look, I need a whiteboard of truth because I am all the confused. So, we've got the mini whiteboard of truth. We are going to go full screen because I'm going to get a pen. You might have noticed, well, you probably haven't, but my room has changed around a bit. So Mr. Mo is getting ready to start on my brand new office. So we have switched up the room, changed the bed. For the love of Cheetos, Mo, learn how to use the daggone remote. All those books will be gone. I'll have a display shelf area for a little bit here, so it'll look a lot nicer ish. Look, it's an ish thing. But I need explanation because how put a little coffee cup, make it a little steamy, put money, and then a peanut butter jar because I need this logic tree figured out. I'm gonna put a sandal on there because I don't like feet, but how? Explain to me how coffee shop plus money equals feet and peanut butter. I will be first to admit I failed most of my math classes in high school because I honestly have never used trigonometry in my real life ever, and the teacher that told me I would use it all the time in my life, no, ma'am, I did not. So, there you go. Fry, did you or Thor, did you get high? So, when Thor gets into, as we are all tangenting off at the moment, when Thor gets into catnip, he starts singing and going into my storage pantry. I've had to start putting all dry goods in plastic containers because if there is a bag of beans or rice, he will high as a ball's cat, roll around on the beans and go, "Oh, oh." It j no idea. This is my life. This is the craziness I deal with every day. Back to the story. Uh, so the video was filmed Thursday at the Clash of Classes assembly, in which is part of the high school's week-long fundraiser for local coffee shops that employ people with special needs, according to the Deer Creek School District. Now, I was afraid this was from Indy because we do have a Deer Creek, and I was like, "Please, God, don't let it be Indiana, please, God." Administrators initially applauded its students for their involvement in It's a Wonderful Week of fundraising, which raised $152,830.38, but later apologized to its student body and parents. Quote, there is a video circulating on social media of one of the activities that involves students only during this assembly that has unfortunately gained national attention, the district Saturday said in a letter shared with the Post. Quote, we want to stress to our community that much of the information accompanying this video is inaccurate. However, through this specific game, we fail to uphold the dignity of our students and the proud image of our community. We have a responsibility to protect our antlers, I'm guessing that's their school name, and showcase them in a positive light. Regards in regards to this one particular activity, we fell short and greatly apologize. No, now I wanna know all the activities you guys did because I'm guessing one was like strip poker at this point. I put nothing past you. We are getting all the investigators, and we're doing a deep dive on this. That would be my thing. Quote, "Thanks for standing with us and helping us to weather this storm, and we look forward together. We move forward together." No. Hello, cool gamer. Hello, Jude. Despite several students eagerly participating in the games, the peanut butter toe licking left others feeling unsettled. It was surprising, an anonymous student told Fox 25, which obtained the footage. I didn't think they were going to do that. I was just shocked. I didn't have like the feeling. I didn't really have like a feeling. I was kind of disgusted and then kind of glad I wasn't over there. One parent described the competition as quote unquote excessive, while another excused the school for not thinking things through. Texas Senator Ted Cruz called the activity child abuse. Okay, we're not going to go that far. We're not going to, but it it's just gross. To which Walters replied, or on X, to which Walters replied, "Completely agree, we're stopping this in Oklahoma." Walters' office could not immediately share the status of this investigation. Good morning, Phoenix Fire. So, yeah, super duper de duper gross. All the gross. In other gross news, a journalist is being held in contempt for refusing to reveal sources in Fox News investigation. Now, this is the same journalist that I believe NBC or ABC fired, and they wouldn't give her the information she found out about the Hunter Biden laptop. Now, I don't go into politics on here, but this is definitely a more legalistic thing because they are going after freedom of the press. They are asking this woman to reveal sources and give, basically, you know, people coming to her anonymously or that kind of thing. So a court ruling found veteran TV news correspondent Catherine Herridge in civil contempt for refusing to identify sources related to the 2017 investigation she reported of Fox News, or for Fox News. Herridge, who until recently worked for CBS News, I knew it was one of the BS networks, declined to divulge information about how she learned of an FBI probe into an academic when she was deposed on the matter in September. U.S. Court Judge Christopher R. Cooper imposed a fine of $800 a day until Herridge complies. She will have time to appeal the decision before the fine goes into effect. Cooper ordered Herridge in August to reveal her source for a 2017 story on Dr. Yangping Chen, a Chinese American scientist who founded the University of Management and Technology, a Virginia based school that attracted military service members. No, wrong side. I'm gonna Friberto? No. You have your toys in your bucket. Um, a Virginia-based military service or it's a Virginia-based school that attracted military service members who received tuition assistance from the Department of Defense. Chen became the subject of an FBI investigation in 2010 concerning statements she made on immigration forms about her work related to the Chinese astronaut program. Her home was searched and materials were seized, but no charges were filed against her. After years of investigation, Hedridge reported a number of stories for Fox News about the case, which looked into whether Chen concealed her former membership in the Chinese military on her immigration forms. The investigation also examined whether Chen used her school to funnel information about the U.S. military to the Chinese government. Um, I'm going to go ahead and say yes, but that's just me. Fox News reports included family photographs of Chen's, excerpts of her immigration forms, and a portion of an FBI memoranda. Chen filed a suit against the FBI and the Department of Defense in 2018, claiming the records were leaked in a violation of the Privacy Act, which generally prohibits federal agencies from disclosing internal records about a person without their consent. Doggone it, Fry. I get you in frame and then you go. And you are too close to the camera. You dingus. I do have a blonde wig I am working on, so I could possibly do that, but, you know, there's that whole CPS thing, and the fact that I can't dance, sober or not. The only problem is Tipsy Mo, Drunk Mo definitely thinks I have moves. I don't. I have been photographed. I do not. I look more like Elaine from Seinfeld. Let's see. Chen has been seeking the source of the government leak for years to no avail, which led her to target Hedridge and Fox News. In 2022, Chen's attorneys served Hedridge and Fox News with subpoenas. Hedridge and the news network moved to squash them, asserting her work was protected by the First Amendment, but the judge ruled that Chen needed to know for the sake of her lawsuit against the government, or Chen's need to know for the sake of her lawsuit against the government overcomes Hedridge's right to shield her sources. Cooper wrote that he recognized the quote paramount importance of press in our society, but the need to use confidential sources to investigate journalism. But he added the court quote also has its own role to play in upholding the law and safeguarding judicial authority. So she's like, they're like, yeah, we understand that it's important and stuff, but I'm torn on this one because I want people to sue the government because the government is usually wrong, but I also don't want reporters to have to give their sources. So I'm torn. In funny news, a Washington sign was hacked to display a surprising warning about angry raccoons. Good news and bad news for the residents of Spokane, Washington. While there have been no reports of angry raccoons threatening the public, the city does, however, seem to have a prankster on its hands. On Wednesday, February 28th, drivers on the Northwest Boulevard in Spokane were greeted with a most unusual message on a construction sign. Instead of typical road work ahead or slow message, it read, "Angry raccoons ahead." Sir, ma'am, Zimzer, whoever did this, you have my approval. This is hilarious. The sign bore the message during the early morning commute, said Spokane Review, a newspaper based in Spokane. Mike Biggs, the owner of Spokane Traffic Control Inc., the company that provided the sign, told Fox News Digital in a phone interview that the sign had been hacked. The culprit, he said, has not been identified. Quote, "I've gotten quite a few laughs," Biggs told the Fox Digital News. Also, Fox copy editor. I have to read this stuff. Not that I read well or anything, but, Wednesday was the first time one of his signs had been hacked to display a different message than the one intended, and he's worried that the culprit might strike again. You just never know. Oh, if I had this power, I would be making funny signs all over the world. You have no idea. Mo for president, hand jobs for all, um, so and so is a thunder cow. I mean, I would never use my powers for good, which is probably good that I'm not good with computers. Biggs Biggs is unsure exactly how the sign was hacked or what it was originally supposed to read. He told Fox News Digital that the signs have 3 or 4 compartments that could be opened with a bit of finesse, so if you're in the field at all, you've been around them at all, almost anyone can change the message on the sign. Beggs joked that the vandal sure picked the right phrase to use on the sign. The story has taken off far beyond Spokane. Roberto, I love you to death, but not right now. We've had this talk. And they're called trash pandas, not raccoons. That's my only, I don't know if he didn't have enough text on there. They could have been a lot more brutal, he said, noting there have been horror stories of signs in other places being hacked to display messages that are inappropriate. It could have been worse. Raccoons, said the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife website, quote, are a common sight in much of Washington, often drawn to urban areas because of food supplied by humans. As for quote unquote angry, as for angry raccoons, as long as the raccoons are kept out of human homes, not cornered or treated as pets, they are not dangerous. Raccoons can carry rabies, however, in other parts of the country, the site noted, and there are specific and important signs to pay attention to, indicating that the animal could be ill. So they apparently don't. I want a trash panda now. Look how cute that is. And the little face and the little fingers. Well, Distant, I will be recording short little videos about the most ridiculous stories, so you can see the short video of the toe thing because I will be going off again. Friberto, I love you. No, it's not time to play. We know. We've talked about this. No. No. He's like, "Mom, I understand the premise you're trying to give, but, why do I have to be good?" Sal, fireside chat with Sal's dad win. I'm just saying. He does know. I have to call the vet and get his shots rearranged because I've got an appointment. I love that I can't keep anything in my head. And good morning, Squid Pro Quo. In high delivery news, an airplane pilot leaves cockpit to help deliver baby during a flight to Thailand, quote, "born in the air," end quote. A pilot is adding a new title to his name after helping deliver a newborn baby in the air. Oh, well, and his name is gonna be awesome. Jakaran Saran Raskarskal is a father of one and a pilot with 18 years experience. He was flying a vet jet plane from Taipei, Taiwan to Bangkok, Thailand when emergency occurred on board. I'm just going to call you Jakaran if that's okay. Or Jakarin cuz your last name is a mouthful and I'm pretty sure I butcher it. Again, duct tape and holy water takes no responsibility for the fact that our host just can't read. It's not a hate crime. We're just bad at phonics. You're welcome. Uh, Ja- Jakaran, who was flying the plane, left the cockpit after the cabin crew told him that a woman was in labor in one of the airplane bathrooms, according to Viral Press. Leaving his female co pilot to fly the plane, Jakaran rushed to the laboring mom to be and found she was in active labor. Soon after he arrived at the pregnant woman's side, Jakaran delivered a baby while the plane was still thousands of feet in the air. I'm not going to read that, but that would be hysterical. Jakaran told the Viral Press that he'd never delivered a baby before, definitely not in the 18 years of his piloting career. Paramedics were waiting for the airplane when it touched down in Bangkok, Thailand. Oh, look at the little baby. Both mother and baby were confirmed to be healthy. Jakaran told Viral Press that he was proud he could bring a baby into the world. Quote, "He will be able to tell everyone for the rest of his life that he was born in the air," he said of the newborn baby boy. He continued, "I feel so proud that I could help him bring him into the world." Uh, he said that the crew nicknamed the baby Sky in honor of his whirlwind and chaotic birth in the sky. The pilot did not say if he had any medical background. Well, I mean, I think honestly, when you get to that point in active labor, and I've been there 6 times, you don't really give it could be an Easter bunny in an Elvis impersonator suit, and you're like, "Someone just catch this daggone baby, because I am done." I do wonder because I do know that some airplanes or some services have, like, a week cutoff in pregnancy that you cannot fly. So, it is kind of interesting that she was able to fly. In other news, it looks like we have a case that might be coming up, in Australia, so I'll have to ask Hella about it. The con man, his lovers, and the mother who vanished. For more than 2 decades, no one listened to Sally Layden as she begged for help to find her mother who mysteriously vanished during a road trip or a trip abroad in 1997. At the time, Australian police dismissed her concerns, insisting that her mother, Marion Barter, had disappeared by choice and wanted nothing to do with her family. It was a story that Layden refused to accept, and on Thursday, her efforts to find her mother led to a crowded courtroom in Western Sydney, where the coroner handed down her findings in an inquest spanning almost 3 years. For many, the final inquest hearing offered the ultimate life update of the quote, "The Lady Vanishes," end quote, an Australian podcast that has meticulously pieced together evidence in the case since the first episode aired in March 2019. On Thursday morning, Layden's most loyal Australian supporters crammed into the courtroom wearing green, Barter's favorite color, as the podcast followers in the United States, Canada, New Zealand, Europe, and the United Kingdom and beyond tuned into a live YouTube feed as Magistrate Teresa O'Sullivan delivered her findings. Marion Barter is deceased and died at some unknown time after October 15th, 1997, said O'Sullivan from the bench. Barter's father body has never been found. Layden didn't need a coroner to confirm her mother's death. She has long accepted that painful truth in the absence of any evidence otherwise. But the coroner's words confirmed what she suspected for years, that the early police investigation into her mother's disappearance was botched, and that Rick Blum, a convicted con man now in his 80s, who admitted to having an affair with Barter in the months before she vanished, had lied repeatedly on the stand and knew more about her mother's disappearance than he was letting on. Ooh, this looks like a good story. We need to see if Helen knows about this, and then we can do a collab because this sounds juicy. A mother vanishes. In 1997, Marion Barter was ready for a change, and on June 22nd, she boarded a plane from Brisbane, Australia to the United Kingdom with plans for a holiday and perhaps a fresh start. In a rather dramatic fashion, the 51-year-old teacher had quit her job halfway through the school year, sold her house, and put her beloved antiques into storage on the understanding that one day she'd come home to get them or have them shipped to her if she settled in the UK. As far as anyone knew, she was traveling alone. Good morning, atheist aunt. After 3 marriages and divorces, Barter was single with 2 children who were in their 20s and engaged to their partners. Layden told CNN she was encouraging her to go, and Barter arrived safely in the UK in late June 1997. She kept in touch with friends and family with postcards and a letter. On August 1st, Barter phoned Layden, reportedly from a payphone in Tunbridge Wells in Kent, England. Layden, then 24, told the podcast she had just finished telling her mother about the wedding dress she'd bought when the payphone ran out of credit, and she never heard from her mother again. At first, Layden didn't dwell on the silence, but on October 18th, when Barter didn't call her son, Layden's brother, Owen, for his birthday, she started to worry. One of the first calls she made was to Barter's bank to see if her mother was using her account. Regular amounts were coming out, a bank worker told her, but not from the UK. Someone in Australia had been using her mother's identification to withdraw 5,000 Australian dollars or $345 in freedom bucks every day for 3 weeks over the counter at Byron Bay and the Gold Coast, where Barter used to live. A shocked Layden was sure it wasn't her mother and reported it to the police. Then came the response that set Layden on a course that consumed most of her adult life. The police told her that the bank confirmed that her mother had withdrawn her money and wanted nothing to do with her family. Barter had returned to Australia, they said, and wanted to disappear. Yeah, no. A new life, a new name. The years went by with little information about what happened to Barter until an intriguing clue emerged via a police investigation that belatedly began a decade later. Barter had changed her name in the weeks before she left and returned to Australia on August 2nd, 1997, just one day after she spoke with Layden. Barter's new name was Florabella Natalia Marion Ramacle. I guess if you're gonna change your name, go big or go home. Holy Jiminy Christmas. And her incoming passenger card listed her as a married resident of Luxembourg, according to the inquest. The name Remacle opened doors that led the police to Blum. In 1994, Blum placed an advertisement in a Australian French newspaper and described himself as a single 47-year-old, tall, dark, and sober. Well, he didn't lie. He was like, "Look, I might not be handsome, but I am sober." So, who was looking for a relationship with a view to marriage. The ad was signed Mr. F. Ramacle. but the phone number linked to a coin business in New South Wales town Ballina, run by one of Blum's many aliases. The inquest heard Blum had at least 10 passports in different names that he used for international travel. He told the inquest he frequently adopted new aliases for, quote, fantasy because it was legal, end quote. I didn't have a specific person, he said. When asked what name he was given at birth, Blum replied, I really don't know, but on the record of my birth, it declared Willie Coppenole. This marks the mysterious beginning of Mr. Blum's life, the coroner noted in her findings. A man of many names. Blum was born in July 1939 to unmarried parents in Tournai, Belgium, a picturesque city near the French border. He said he spent time in an orphanage before returning to his mother and taking her new husband's names, Walters. Blum arrived in Australia as Willie Walters in 1969, giggity, but left a year later. His next destination was France, where he was imprisoned for fraud, forgery, confidence tricks, and giving a false identity, the inquest heard. Okay, yeah, he seems like a ne'er-do-well, but after his release in 1974, he returned to Australia by boat and in February 1976 became an Australian citizen under the name Frederick D. Hedervay. Where are these people coming up with these names? Around the same time, Blum married his fourth wife, a 19-year-old woman. Nope. Just nope. Snake Island, sir. Among the other things you've done bad. A 19-year-old woman who he met in the 1969 boat ride from the United Kingdom, to whom he is still married. Frederick and Diane de Harvey settled into life in Australia before moving to Luxembourg, Belgium, and the UK for several years, then returning to Australia in 1986. By then, they had 2 children. In 1997, the family was living in a region of New South Wales where Blum collected disability pension and his wife received a carer's pension. When it was put to Blum in court that at the time the money was tight, he agreed. Blum told the court he began an affair with Barter in February that year. Though it's unclear how they met, it may have been through the personal advertisement that Blum placed in 1994, presenting himself as Mr. F. Remarkable. He claimed he might have answered an ad placed by Barter, but the coroner could not find evidence of that. Blum said that their affair ended in the weeks before she went overseas in June, and he told her he couldn't see her anymore because he was married with children. He testified the last time he saw her was 3 weeks before she left for the UK, when she collected tea chests she had left in his house with a man in a uniform he took to be a Navy officer or a pilot. Yeah, this is sounding real believable, sir. Hello, Flash fan. Incoming. Let's see. The real F. Ramakel is the ex-husband of a woman Blum once knew, Monique Cornelius, who claimed they had an affair with, which Blum denies. According to testimony read out in court in February 2022, Cornelius told police Blum was a serial liar who told her he worked as a special agent at the British Embassy in Luxembourg. She said he wrote her a letter in 1980 professing his love for her and suggesting he would buy a boat so they could sail away together. Quote, I am intimately persuaded that you will not regret your decision to leave with me and start a new life, he said, as he wrote in the letter, which was read in court. Ew. Their affair ended when she found out he was married and kicked him out, Cornelius told the police. Blum told the court Cornelius had lied about their relationship, which was platonic. Other women told the inquest of their encounters with a man now known as Blum. Some were romantic, others were not. All involved allegations of deceit. Jeanette Gaffey Bowen told the court that she placed an advertisement in the newspaper In late Oh, hello, Broken Baker people. Thank you for the raid. Uh, she placed an advertisement in a newspaper in the late 1990s that was answered with Blum, whom she knew as Frederick de Harvey. Welcome, all muffin tops. She said their relationship, she said at the time, she was extremely lonely, working long hours in her childcare business. Gaffney Bowen said Blum told her he had lost his home, so she said he could stay in the studio apartment at her property in Sydney during his frequent trips to the city. She said their relationship was not sexual, but instead he proposed a business partnership dealing in coins. With a dream of closing her stressful childcare business, she gave him 30,000 Australian dollars or $19,500 to start up funding. Soon after he proposed she sell her house so he could buy her what he called a beautiful and spacious apartment in Paris, she said. Thank you, Baker, for the raid. Hello, Rolling Stone. I hope you are having a wonderful, I think it's afternoon there. I'm trying to be better with time things, but I still mess up. Uh, Gaffney Bowen told the court Bum belittled her and tried to drive a wedge between her and her daughters over the sale of her house. While Blum didn't physically hurt her, she told the court he tried to blackmail her with naked photographs he had taken of her, and she became scared of him and went to the police and was granted an apprehended violence order in early 1999. Oh, thank you, Jamie and MLS. I am. If he doesn't dress as Odin going, to Delphi, I will be so upset. I mean, I'll walk around with but if he doesn't dress full Odin with the patch on his head, the braids and everything, I feel like it would be a missed opportunity. Another lonely oh, Blum told the court that Gaffney Bowen had, quote, "dragged me into bed and had asked him to take salacious photos of her, which he didn't have developed, and he denied taking her money." Yes, she was aggressive. She took me into her bedroom and she's like, "Can you please take naked photo?" Said no woman ever, sir. Another lonely divorcee, Janet Odenberg, told the court she met Blum, who she knew as Rick or Rich, in 1996, going through her husband's coin collecting circles where they both lived in New South Wales. They reconnected in 1999 when she was 51 years old and had just finalized her divorce, she said. Blum offered her a job, but before she started, he said he urged her to move into with him to the French Riviera and just start a new life. No. Blum denied ever telling Oldenburg he had feelings for her and said he had bought her a one-way ticket to Europe because she wanted to find an agent and start a new career as a belly dancer. You know, you gotta give him like 2 points for the wild stories he is coming up to say, "No, she wanted to start a life, as a belly dancer, as you do." Uh Oldenburg claimed that Blum abandoned her in England during their travels after inventing a story that he'd been attacked at a train station while taking a side business trip to Lille, France. Blum admitted in court that he abandoned her in England because he was no longer wanted anything to do with her. My life was with my wife and kids in Australia. Doesn't he look like, oh gosh, I don't remember his name. I remember Doug. But he looks like the guy in the Doug trial. Maybe it's something with the long, flowy, semi-mullet. It makes you evil. I don't know. He denied her claims that he'd stolen jewelry and the title deeds to her house. Look, your honorness. Gravity is a strange thing. I have no idea why her stuff ended up in my duffel bag. Gravity is a strange and mysterious force. I'm glad I catch you at the right time. I'm working on making shorter videos so there's bits and pieces and you guys can watch them easier. I learned how to do shorts from the Sarah Boone Legal Shenanigans Theater. So I am going to be using those and doing that. So he conned all the women, just all of them. Now, where is the woman that we're looking for? In her findings, Connor O'Sullivan said she accepted the testimony of the women, which show Blum had a history of misrepresenting himself to single, vulnerable women for financial gain. She found that Blum exploited Barter in the same way he had later exploited other women who gave evidence against him. O'Sullivan said, quote, she did not accept as accurate anything Mr. Blum said. You probably shouldn't. In the absence of corroborating evidence, as to Blum's role in Barter's disappearance, she had drew attention to, quote, an extraordinary, end quote, claim by Blum on the final day of the inquest, one he made for the first time despite hours of questioning since his first police interview in 2021. Blum, an elderly man with a full white beard, was asked in the witness box once again if he had any information on the whereabouts of Marion Barter. Quote, I myself believe she's alive. That's what I believe. But I don't know anything about what she did or nothing. I don't know, he stammered. O'Sullivan interjected with a question. Why do you believe Marion is still alive? She said she wanted to separate from her family. She didn't want anything to do with any member of her family, Blum said. She was a bit of a strange person. The next day, Blum was recalled via video to explain why he hadn't offered this information to the police or the inquest at any time during the previous 3 years. And what did he tell the court? He told the court he didn't tell the police when he was interviewed in June 2021 because, quote, they never asked, end quote. When pushed, he said, I had no idea of the importance of it. I was just talking. What can I say? Good night, nurse. So, yeah, this is definitely a court case that I wanna look up. But in super sad news, fashion icon and legend Iris Apatow, look, I'm terrible with names, is dead at 102 years old. Quote, "An American original in the truest sense." I am not a fashionista by any means of any words ever in the dictionary. But I used to love the sass and just outrageous glasses and necklace of this woman, and I am sad that she passed away. Iris, a trailblazing textile virtuoso and NYC fixture known for her eclectic style, especially her oversized black rimmed glasses, died on Friday at home in Palm Beach, Florida. She was 102. A unique tastemaker, Apatow found herself the focus of museum exhibits, including one at the Metropolitan Museum of Art in 2005. She was also featured in 2007 Coffee Table Book, a groundbreaking 2012 MAC Cosmetics campaign, and in 2014 a documentary. She worked with 9 presidential wives on design restoration at the White House using fabric from Old World Weavers, the textile company she co-owned with her late husband, Carl Apatow. Apatow was a New Yorker through and through. She was born Iris Farrell on August 29th, 1921, an only child in Queens to 2 Jewish farmers. Her father, Samuel, ran a mirror and glass business, while her mother, Sadie, owned a clothing boutique, ensconcing her in creativity at a young age. At just 12 years old, she was taking the subway to Manhattan on Thursday afternoons to window shop, an experience she described to The Guardian in a 2015 interview. Friberto, I need to use at least one hand to move the clicker. I cannot play with you right now. At that time, you could ride the whole subway system nickel. So each week, I would take a different section of New York, Chinatown, Yorkville, Harlem, Greenwich Village, Greenwich. She told the outlet, daggone it. Baker knows like 75 languages, and I barely know one. She continued, "I really fell in love with the village. The village is where I started to poke around antique shops and became enchanted with all this old junk." Apafel studied art history in New York City or New York University before transferring to the University of Wisconsin-Madison. After graduating in 1943, she moved back to NYC and began working for Women's Wear Daily as a copywriter, according to Harper's Bazaar. She also served as an assistant to interior designer Eleanor Johnson. She and Carl launched Old World Weavers in 2000, or not 2000, daggone it, 1950, 2 years after they wed. The two loved to travel the world sourcing items for fun design projects. The company was inspired by the unique designs they found on their trips to places like North Africa and Europe, according to The Inside. Some of their clients included Estee Lauder, Faye Dunaway, and Greta Garbo, the outlet reported. Though Apatow was well known in NYC circles, she became a household name later in life at the age of 84 to be exact, when she was tapped for a museum exhibit. In 2005, she received a phone call from Herod Koda, a fashion scholar and curator at the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. The exhibit was supposed to go up that summer, had been canceled since Koda had heard so much about Apatow's extensive costume jewelry collection. He decided to ask her to curate an exhibit, The Guardian reported. The show that ensued was called Rara Avis Selection from Iris Apatow Collection, which ran at the Met from September 2005 to January 2006. It featured 40 of her own accessories, including a Gripox brooch and a pair of 18th century paste earrings. Quote, an American original in the truest sense, Iris Apatow is one of the most vivacious personality in the worlds of fashion, textile, and interior design over the past 40 years. She has cultivated a personal style that is both witty and exuberantly idiosyncratic, the museum noted, adding that her originality can be seen in a mix of high and low fashions. With remarkable panache and discernment, she combines colors, textures, and patterns without regard to period, provenance, and ultimately aesthetic conventions, the museum continued. Paradoxically, her rich layered combinations, even at their most extreme and baroque, project a boldly graphic modernity. You could have just said she looks awesome because she did. Let's see. The designer often referred to herself as a geriatric starlet. Look, I want to be this woman when I grow up. She was awarded several opportunities after her Met exhibit. In 2007, she was the subject of a coffee table book cleverly titled Rare Bird of Fashion, The Irreverent Iris Apatow, with rare bird being the Latin translation of rara avis. Following rara avis, she developed a line of lipstick for MAC Cosmetics. She launched her own fashion line with the Home Shopping Network in 2011 that was cheekily titled Rara Avis by Iris Apatow after her exhibit. In 2014, a documentary about her life was released by award-winning filmmaker Albert Miseles. The doc Iris was nominated for an Emmy Award in 2017. It was one of Miseles' last work before he died in 2015 at 88 years old. They just took lots and lots of footage. I think there's enough film on the cutting floor to do 3 more films, so it came as kind of a shot. Apatow told The Cut in 2015 about the documentary, quote, "I'm very pleased that Albert loved it as it was his last work, and I'm gratified at the response we're getting because I had no idea what to expect. I thought people might just laugh, not in the right way." The designer often referred to herself as an accidental icon, a title she often gave her, or she also gave her 2018 memoir. The same year, Mattel made a Barbie doll in her honor for International Women's Day. At the time, she was 96, making her the oldest person to be turned into a Barbie doll. Her other artistic collaborations involved a wash machine, uh, rug retailer, Ruggable, the makeup company, Siet London, and a clothing brand with H&M. In 2021, she celebrated her 100th birthday on the 100th floor of the Central Park Tower, according to Today, with a party drawing Tommy Hilfiger, Donna Karan, Kate Holmes, Barbie Ferreira, Alexis Bitter, and other like I know Tommy Hilfiger because if you were a early aughts high schooler, everyone had Tommy Hilfiger and American Eagle. It was just the style. The icon was married to Karl Apatow from 1948 until his death in 2015 at the age of 100, only a few days before his 101st birthday. They had no children. Thor, I am not the high ground. In other news, look, I am not telling y'all how to parent, but if you have tween girls or teen girls, make sure that they are not using products that are for anti-aging because they can really, really screw up their kids. Tweens are getting rashes from some skincare products popularized on social media, dermatologists say. Retinoids and hydraulic acids are common ingredients in trendy skincare products, but they can irritate young skin. Yes, y'all don't have wrinkles yet. You don't need to peel off the top layer of your skin to pretend you don't have wrinkles. It's just throwing it out there. A few days after she began her new skincare regime, a toner, moisturizer, serum, facial mist, good God. The skin around 13-year-old Leora's lip became dry and red. A couple days later, the rash turned yellow and crusty. I was touching it because it was really itchy. Then I think I got infected, said Leora, whose family requested her last name not be published for privacy reasons, given that she is a minor. A dermatologist prescribed Leora a medication to relieve the irritation and advised her to stop her skincare routine and apply petroleum jelly until the rash cleared. Then came a discussion that dermatologists say is increasingly common. We got into a whole conversation about this new fad of preteens interested in using a lot of anti aging products and things that they're learning on social media, Dr. Alexis Young, Leora's dermatologist. No fighting on hey, no, both of you. Now, if if you're not here for the news, you can watch, Thor and Fry Fight Club. Daggone it, children. Dr. Alexis Young, Leora's dermatologist at Hackensack University Medical Center in New Jersey. In general, for the preteen population, they're layering product upon product and it not really being told how to use them, Young said. Young and 6 other dermatologists told NBC News that in recent months, tweens and young teenagers have been showing up at their offices in droves with red, dry, bumpy, itchy rashes after using skincare products they don't need. Some dermatologists said it happens weekly or monthly. Others say they see such patients multiple times a day. Kids ages 7 to 13 are clearing makeup shelves at stores, spending hundreds on anti aging creams, moisturizers, acne serums from trendy and colorful brands like Drunk Elephant, which sells Protini polypeptide cream every 40 seconds, according to the brand's website, and Glow Recipe, which has surpassed $100 million in revenue in 2021, just 7 years after its founding, CNBC reported. The trend has been driven in part by social media, where young creators video about their multi step skincare routines, sometimes garnering millions of views. Some adults, meanwhile, have taken to social media to vent about makeup stores becoming overrun with children. It's a lot for parents, certainly kids, to wade through. Dr. Brooke Jeffy, a board certified dermatologist in Arizona, they just maybe don't have the knowledge and know what's safe. Fry, no. Many Drunk Elephant and Glow Recipe products come in bright pink, orange, and teal packaging that can attract young customers. No, it's not the color of the of packaging. It's because they see so and so influenced her. say, "This helps me with my skin and makes me look all," not realizing the influencer probably has 75 filters on and, spend 3 hours on their makeup. Oh, Old Line Red, I have never heard of Drunk Elephant. I don't even wanna know how expensive it is. I'm sure it is. Um, a promotional video from Drunk Elephant even depicts a line of travel-sized products as animated cartoon characters. No, they're saying it's not the cartoon characters, it's not it is the influencers. Don't blame the package makers. Like many beauty products, the brand's product labels don't usually specify an intended age range. Instead, they list the expected effects. Drunk Elephant's TLC Fambus Glycolic Night Serum, for example, says it resurfaces dull, congested skin, dramatically improves the appearance of skin tone and texture, fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. Glow Recipes Strawberry Smooth BHA and AHA salicylic serum, meanwhile, says it can gently smooth texture, clear breakouts, refine pores while calming skin. Each of those two products contain exfoliating acids, which dermatologists interviewed said were among the most problematic ingredients for young people, along with retinoids. Both type of ingredients are intended to address issues like hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, or acne, according to Dr. Jaden Galagama. Look, no. A dermatologist at UCLA Health, for young skin without any problems, they may be too harsh, he said. We've had a handful of patients get these recurrent rashes around their eyelids and around the mouth. Uh, Dr. Jaden said, it's miserable for them. It's so itchy. Sometimes it keeps them up at night. It gets bloody because they keep scratching it. And they're so embarrassed because it's on their face and it's what they're, for the love of all that is holy. Just again, parents, I don't know if you have $80 to spend on exfoliating cream, but if I had $80 to spend on exfoliating cream, I holy fazoli's. Drunk Elephant Fambus is 90 bucks. Oh, hell no, I would not let my daughter look, y'all, someone somewhere must be loving this economy because right now, Mr. Mo and I are like, how can we get our grocery bill down? Not how can I afford, $90 Drunk Elephant restructuring cream. So, no, who is giving these teens these these things? That's a no. A good story for once from my, you know, city or my state, Indiana Pancake House waitress nonchalantly rescues a choking boy, then proceeds to serve coffee. Quote, enough evil in this world. An Indiana Pancake House waitress sprung into action Monday to save a young boy from choking, marking the second time she saved a customer's life. Beth Tibbles was serving another table at the original Pancake House in South Bend when she heard a boy struggling and rushed to his aid. Others in the restaurant appeared to be in shock, but Tibble was performing the Heimlich maneuver before anyone else realized what was happening. Just or quote, "It's just instinct. Like someone else said, it's survival. When people are in trouble, you have to help them. That's what people are supposed to do." Tibbles told WSBT, quote, "There's enough evil in this world, and you gotta be nice. It takes 1 second to be kind." I like this woman. I'm gonna go to this pancake house. The waitress who served at the popular pancake house for a decade even beat a law enforcement employee who was dining nearby. After saving the boy, Tibbles nonchalantly picked up her coffee pot and continued serving her customers, according to bystanders. Quote, the coolest part of the whole thing, even though it was a scary situation, was after she made sure the kid was okay, she just picked up the coffee pot and made her rounds. Diner Ashley O'Cap said, quote, my husband and I said, did you just save someone's life? And she was like, yeah, it's just another day for her, end quote. Perhaps this heroic action wasn't an anxiety-inducing for Tibble because she'd already experienced saving another customer's life. She performed the Heimlich for the first time when she was working at a as a waitress in upstate New York more than 10 years ago. Not just yet, Friberto. This is our last story. I'm ending on a good one. The boy's father joked that Tibbles, a waitress for more than 20 years, has enough experience to add EMT to her resume. It's really important to keep up to date because you never know. Sometimes if an emergency strikes and they would have had to call 911, it could have taken a few minutes for the police and fire medics to be here. So the fact that she was able to act and respond as quickly and calmly as she did was huge, Ochap said. Tibbles could not be immediately reached for comment. South Bend is a city in Indiana, near the Michigan border and located a few miles from Notre Dame University. So, there you guys go. That is a happy story. I'm trying to end on happy stories when I can find them because goodness knows we got enough toe lickers out there. Oh my god, what is wrong with people? But I like this lady. She's just like, "It's another day. I do it for anyone else. I don't need recognition." You know, I mean, would love to say that I'd be as calm as her, but I have a naturally nevish personality, so I think I'd be anxiety-ridden and possibly frozen. So good on her. I hope that she got amazingly enormous tips, and one day I will go to South Bend just to shake her hand, and I know I'm firmly against hugs, but if she's okay with it, I might give her a side hug because this she's just seems so sweet. Anywho, have a wonderful day. I'm sending you guys over to, Nick. He is doing What the Hales. I don't even know what's going on with this story, but apparently it is blowing up like if you put a bunch of Pop Rocks in with, soda and Mentos. I don't know, but it's going cray cray. So I have been sending them to no hugging. When I meet Jamie, I will let her hug me, but people I don't know that just kinda come in for a hug, and I'm like, "Personal space bubble. I'm not married to you." Any hoozle, have a wonderful day. I will see you guys tonight. I will be working on and putting, some of these stories and a couple other ones that I didn't cover yet in shorter, video form, so you guys have stuff to watch during the day. But I have noticed that some people can't do the live stream, and I wanted to see if they would like little shorter videos, about 10 minutes long, just of stories and me, talking. Who knows? It's a different thing. I'm trying to change things up. Any hoozle, thank you guys all for your support. Have a wonderful day. Uh, you know, be kind to yourself. That negative voice can get really, really loud. And that negative voice is a mecha super giant thunder cow, if you know what I mean. So try to silence that voice today. Try to say a couple nice things to people out and about. You never know if they have, this is the first time they've heard some really kind words in a while, and it can really make their day. Tell someone their dress is pretty. Tell someone they've got really nice shoes. It's a trick I use because I am a total introvert outside the house. So I will see you guys later. Have a lovely day.